So I actually, I drove over here. I'm actually in Jacksonville. So I'm over in Jacksonville, man, and I'm gonna be over here for one day, and then I'm gonna go back to Tampa.
Yeah.
What's going on with you? You went.
Yeah, I went hiking yesterday alongside the Hudson River, actually. Saw a lot of cool old stuff. Crazy scenery. It looked like some stuff from back in the war ages. It
Yeah,
was cool. Yeah, did a little 8 mile hike. It was cold out, but still, got to get the steps
eight
in.
miles. You
Yeah,
did 8 miles.
8 miles. Well, my man had the watch. That's what he said. I didn't really. I didn't. I don't track it. You know what I'm saying? He did it.
I think
Yeah, it was
those
good.
watches are a lot like the turf. When you go to those indoor golf games and you start, I played indoor golf. I shot two over. I have never shot two over. I've never shot on those on those simulated screens. I shot two over. My buddy was 200, saying this is the best round ever. I'm like, yeah, I believe it.
Just a little off, right? The watch, just a
Yeah,
little off.
yeah, just a little off, my man. So, a lot going on. All right, let's. I know you want to jump into NBA. I want to cover. Let's cover NBA real quick. I think
Yeah.
let's talk NBA.
Okay.
What is your thoughts on?
Well,
First of all, the
listen,
big.
Phoenix is in trouble right now. I
Yeah.
still think they got him out of this round, but I mean, you're a 1 seed with 64 wins on the season. A big favorite to win the title this year. To lose at home to the 8 seed in the second game of the series is not a good thing.
Yeah.
I didn't like what I saw from the role players. They lost Devin Booker. He looks like he's going to be out for the next 2 games. Now they're
Yeah.
on the road. So now this team could smell blood, New Orleans. They kind of have a good, rep. If they added a healthy Zion to this team could be really dangerous. Adding CJ McCollum at the trade deadline, Brandon Ingram went stupid last night, had 37 points, was an assist away from a triple-double, made big shot after big shot. Yeah, Phoenix is in trouble a little bit because without Devin Booker, it's not the same team. I put everything that I've been saying about Phoenix on being healthy. They need their full onslaught to
So
be,
no
and
Booker. What does that mean for the? What does that mean?
they need a score.
Yeah, but what does it mean for the rest of the conference? Are you saying Golden State now is the favorite?
Golden State is definitely the favorite if it's not Phoenix. Especially with Jordan Poole's emergence, it's absolutely ridiculous that he's not winning Most Improved Player this year. The crazy part is he wasn't even the finalist, and I think it's not even close
Who
to.
was the most improved player?
I don't think they announced it yet.
Who are the
I
finalists?
know DeJounte Murray was a finalist. He had a great year.
Oh, he is.
I got to bring back that list up. It's asinine, and they'd have to rename the award if Jordan Poole doesn't win it, which obviously he's not going to win it. So we'll see what
Did
happens
he? But
there.
did he do great the whole year, or did he only
Yes.
have a great last week? I thought he
All
just went off on the last week or two of the season.
all
No.
season he's been incredible. Literally, I
Oh,
have him in
really?
fantasy. He was a top 20 player in fantasy, and he's the
Yeah,
third
yeah.
option on the team. They always draft well, Warriors. They always find these gems in the draft. They still got Wiseman in the cut when he's healthy next year. He's a 20-year-old phenom in the paint. They're
Yeah.
just a great organization at finding talent and then developing the talent. Yeah, Warriors look really good. They got their third splash brother, Jordan Poole, like we just said. Phoenix is
All
in
right.
trouble, man. I'm starting to be worried.
So there's a big game in the East tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, we had to wait 3 days for some reason for game 2 after that great game 1. I
Yeah.
expect easy money sniper to go off tonight. That's Kevin Durant for y'all that don't know. He only had 23 points in game 1, played his worst game I've seen him play in a while, maybe ever. Was just not there defensively, was all over the place offensively, taking bad shots. His team lost at the buzzer, so you could really take that as a good thing for Brooklyn, having his worst game, and they still should have won the game. But it was his at the end, the last possession. The spinning layup by Tatum.
Yeah.
Kevin
All
Durant,
timer.
Kevin Durant's just sitting there in the like hoping that the time runs out. You got to go back and look at that last. Kevin Durant, what are you doing on defense? I think he's going to lock in tonight. We're going to see a lot of the fans at Kyrie. That whole
Yeah.
dynamic is fun.
Yeah.
So we'll see what the Nets are made of tonight to go and steal game 2 and bring the season back, bring the series back to Brooklyn tied up. I do think the play of the night is Durant for 30 plus. If you're going to bet the NBA tonight, 30 plus from Durant.
Listen, I will say this: I'm on fire in baseball, but you're doing really well in these specialty picks, these crazy
And you got to
long
think,
shots.
yeah, this ain't a specialty pick. This is a minus 120 bet, 30 from
Really?
Durant. It's easy. It's a spot where he came off a bad game.
Yeah.
He's one of the best scorers to ever live. He's
Yep.
gonna get. He still almost had 30 at 23 when he played bad. He's gonna get 30 tonight. Book it.
Who was guarding him? Marcus Smart, the defensive player of the year?
No, he's guarding Kyrie, so I think it's gonna be Tatum on him. And Tatum's a good defender. Whatever. You can't stop Durant. He was just taking bad shots and kind of just not into it. You could see from the jump. He only had 2 points after the end of the first quarter. So he's
Here's
got to
what
come out
caught.
hot.
So the big thing about that game is what I said, oh, wow, about was the possession before that. Because I didn't watch the game and I'd only seen the pass and that layup with no time on the clock. I saw a highlight of the possession before that where Kyrie brought the ball up and then there was a quick double team.
Nowhere to go. He was dribbling, nowhere to go. Look at Marcus Smart,
The-
man. That is
that's
the defensive player of the
so
year.
what I want to know is somebody came up and doubled him. And what I want to know is, did that player do that on his own because it was genius, or was that there was no timeout before that. So there was no like, hey, listen, we're going to double him when if he brings the ball up. I didn't see the coach call a play. I didn't see the coach say something defensively.
That's how they've been playing defense all year. That's why they're the number one rated defense.
They come up and double him like that. That
They're
was
tough.
intelligent.
The perimeter defense for Boston is very tough. Tatum
had nowhere to
doubled.
go.
Jaylen Brown doubled at the right time. Nowhere to
Yeah.
go. And
Nowhere
the
to go.
best part about it, I give a lot of props to the coach of the Celtics, Udoka. He didn't call a timeout after they got the stop. They're still down one.
Yeah.
He trusted his team to go and make it instead of calling a timeout where then you know you're going to isolate Tatum for a contested one-on-one shot. I love that he trusts the team out there. Brooklyn had to scatter back and play defense, and they did it.
I think everybody needs to be really high on Marcus Smart because 2 years ago Marcus Smart just shoots that right away. He just shoots the ball.
The poise and patience
He's
in that
learned,
spot.
but he's not the guy. He's not that guy. He's learned how to not be that guy on offense, but to be that guy on defense.
A couple months ago, he would have took that shot. So that's how much he grew. Yeah, he's been growing.
So that to me was the big telling point. Okay, Marcus Smart knows his position on offense, and he knows now what he brings defensively.
Yeah.
And that's why I know that you don't think they have a chance without Williams, but I will say that play that Marcus Smart made tells me they all know what they're supposed to do out there. They all know their roles. They didn't have that. Listen, when Kyrie was on that team, nobody knew what their role was. Nobody knew what was going on.
That's a fact.
And this year, I think this was the first year.
Al Horford played his ass off too.
Tatum and Jaylen Brown couldn't coexist for a long time. Now all of a sudden it looks like they can, and they can each get their points, and everybody else knows what their spots are.
Right.
So I think this is a team that even without Williams will be in the Eastern Conference Finals. And
it's
I think
a good
that they're going to
matchup
give
for Brooklyn, meaning bad matchup for Brooklyn. Good matchup for Boston facing Brooklyn because they are lacking a defensive in the paint, and they got two guys who can match Durant and Kyrie on the offensive side. So
what's the number tonight? What is that number tonight? What are they favored?
3.5. Boston game 2.
Boston's favored by 3.5.
3.5. Yeah.
Everybody's gonna be on. Everybody is gonna be on Brooklyn.
I think so too. I think that's what I'm starting to feel too. Everyone's thinking the bounce back.
So what does that tell me? It says, you know what? What's that tell you?
That's why I didn't sit here and say the play of the day is the Nets, because it's easy to say they're gonna. I think Durant's gonna easily get 30, but it doesn't mean they're gonna win. Doesn't mean they're gonna win.
True statement.
And shout out to Marcus Smart because he's the first guard to win Defensive Player of the Year since Gary Payton in '96. So it's not easy for a guard to get that recognition.
Nah, it's been a while. So what are the games that are out tonight? What else is on NBA?
We got the Philly going into Toronto, up 2-0. Kind of an series. You don't really think Toronto has they might win a game, but that's just to get to the next round series. And then the night game is after. What's the other game? Is that there are only 2 games tonight?
This is how soft the NBA is. Listen, if this was the 80s or the 90s, Joel Embiid would never have been able to stand over there and talk trash to a basketball coach for 15 seconds. Never in a million years would he be able to do what he did. That shit didn't happen, or you got fouled and you got laid out in the next game. I want to see if they knock him the hell out this game. I want to see if they knock him out. That's what I want to see. Do they foul him? Do they foul him hard? Listen, if he's going to go over there and brag about stuff,
he could have got hurt on that play.
If he's going to go over there and tell the other coach, hey, stop complaining about fouls, we're going to foul him hard. That's the way I would approach it, right? You're going to foul him pretty hard. So I think that's like a storyline. In
And it's a
baseball, we had
storyline to
it,
see.
this is let's make a storyline of this. Like let's being the Houston Astros. Okay, now Joel Embiid is the Houston Astros of basketball. Let's see if they foul him hard because I think I don't know how he got away with that. I don't know how he stood over there. Everybody
Yeah.
saw him talking trash to the coach, and it kept going on and on and on and on. I was surprised by that.
The other game is Milwaukee, Chicago. Just looked it up. That's another
Milwaukee, right?
series. I mean,
Milwaukee, right?
Chicago's got a couple good ball players. Not gonna Levine, you got DeRozan. They can't hang with Milwaukee. That should be an easy 4-0, 4-1 series as well. So really, there's 3 entertaining series going on in the first round, and one of them's tonight. It's obvious, the
You were
best
right
one.
on last. You were right last night with Memphis. That was a blowout.
Perfect bounce back spot for a team who I think is better. They
Yep.
Toronto. I knew Minnesota would be content with their game one win. They would not come with the same energy you need to have in the playoffs for game 2. And John Morant and them got hot, and then that's it. They smelled
What did he do?
blood in the water.
How did he do last night?
He did great. He was making insane aerodynamic layups. He was talking trash. He had the swag last night. You still got to go and get one on the road though, because you lost one at home. So, but I still think Memphis takes care of business in that series. Should go 6 or 7 though. So that and the Boston Nets series are the 2 best first round series, in my opinion.
Nets.
But now, hey, listen. But now Phoenix, you got to watch. Can they win a game without Booker? We'll see.
So I just saw a headline that he's only going to be out 2 games.
Yeah.
Is that
Listen,
right?
what if they lose those 2 games?
They're only down 3. That's a
3.
team that if they're that much better than the team, which they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're supposed to be.
But it's that's that weird trending team. Like New Orleans is not a typical 8 seed. They're trending as a top 5 seed at this time. So it's a they got crazy. Listen, Valanciunas outplayed Ayton. Brandon Ingram, any given day, could be a top guy on the court. McCollum's a surgeon at scoring. They got players over there. So Phoenix got to just wake up a little bit. Let's see what Chris Paul's about.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. They got what's his CJ McCollum.
CJ McCollum, yeah, Brandon Ingram, guys who are very, very good at scoring the ball. Valanciunas is a big body, is a very smart player. He gives Ayton all the fits he wants, and they got 3 good rookies. Remember that kid Alvarado from Georgia Tech?
Yeah,
he's playing well. He's playing well, man. He's pesky. He sparks them. And then they got that cat Murphy too, hitting 3s left and right. They got a good little squad there.
Where's Alvarado playing? Is he playing point guard? He's gonna be playing point guard, right?
Yeah, backup point guard.
All right. No, he was really good at Georgia Tech. That was the one thing. I mean, Georgia. That was the part about Georgia Tech. They actually had 2 or 3 guys on that team at Georgia Tech that were really good, and you thought they should be good every year.
Yeah.
But that's good to hear, Alvarado.
Yeah.
All right, listen. I want to jump into this because there's some cool things going on here. MLB. All right. So I think there's starting to be some things that, from a betting standpoint, that we should be taking a look at. Number one, we might be seeing historically one of the worst teams in the history of baseball, which is Cincinnati. You should literally be betting against them every day because I still haven't seen them, their opponent at minus 200. And you can still keep grabbing their opponents at less than minus 200.
I hear you there. Yeah.
I don't understand
how bad they are. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand it. It's kind of, you look for that stuff. And something else we need to touch on. I still think by the end of the year, Philadelphia is going to be one of the better teams in the.
What's
Is
going
going to
on
be one
there?
of the best teams. One of the best teams. But there is a serious problem right now with the Phillies.
Are they down now, too? I think they're down now.
They're losing 2-1 right now. Listen, Colorado might be like 8-2. What is Colorado? 8-2, 8-3 right now?
Yeah, and
Colorado. They've got a good team. The guy that you said you weren't sure about coming over from Pittsburgh pitched lights out yesterday. Cole.
Yeah.
They got Freeland. They got Santazanella.
And they got Marquez still, who every now and then pitch as well.
Listen, this is a real team at 8. This is a real team. They've played. Here's the problem, though. They've played 11 games. This is their 10th one at home. This is their 12th game they're playing in the middle of. They've only had 2 road games. They've won them both, but that's going to even out. They are a splits team. Typically, they're a splits team. Now, I don't see them having the power of the offense to be able to stay with the Dodgers all year. But I do see a team that can battle for maybe a wild card spot. So I'm looking forward to that. What is your takes on all that? It looks like you had let me see if I can take this one out, add this one.
I'm sorry. Something happened. I got knocked out.
No worries. We're just
Yes,
talking about Rockies. I'm talking about the Rockies and when I think because their splits are huge right now. They've had this is their out of their 12th game. This is the 10th home game, right? So
yeah.
that means they've only had 2 road games. They won them both, but we know that that's going to balance out. I mean, last year they were really good at home and really poor on the road.
Yeah, I expect that to continue. I think they're going to
Yeah,
have struggles on the road. They did beat a good Texas team on the road early, but it's early, so they might have caught them.
good Texas team. What do
Yeah,
you mean a good Texas team? Why do you think they're a good Texas
good.
team?
Texas is usually good at home. Early in the season is what I meant.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, Colorado's definitely been one of the teams that surprised me so far. Um,
So we brought up a guy yesterday. So here we go again. There was the guy yesterday, right? There was Gibson. What did I tell you about Gibson? Don't bet on him on the road.
he didn't pitch terrible, but yep, they
He
lost.
didn't pitch. He
The
didn't pitch
reliever is
anything
the
like.
one who blew the game.
But he didn't pitch anything like he pitches at home. He is a home and road
Hard to
guy.
pitch in Colorado, period, though.
Senta
There's so much
Zanella is.
space.
Well, that's why Senta Zanella is such a steal all the time. Look for these guys at 3 and 4. Look for the 3 pitchers, the 4 pitchers. Get them in at the one -130 and win your money that way. I was able to go 4-0 yesterday. It means I went 2-0 the day before. Yesterday, your team. I have no idea what the Mets did. I don't know how they won the game. To
It
me,
was
they
a,
lost. They lost the
it
game
was a weird,
5-4.
controversial kind of call. I still think the angle I saw, he was on the base. So at the end of the day, you can't really say it was a blown call. It was just a
Yeah,
weird situation where people didn't know if he was safe or out. It ended up going their way. And Lindor got the clutch hit to win the game. But that's
yeah.
kind of what this Mets team feels like. They're never out of the game this year. They're not a laughing stock where they're gonna blow the game late. I feel like they're gonna win the game late. And I'm so pumped for this bet, man. I'm so fired up. You don't understand what our pitching staff really is about yet. We still don't have the best pitcher in baseball. He's coming
I
back.
don't think you're gonna have him at all this year.
Nah,
I don't think.
they said his MRI is looking good. He could start throwing soon. I think cats have really got to start realizing what this Mets team is about, boy, because it's a different feel in Queens this year.
Okay. And you don't think that DeGrom will just get injured again? You don't think that you think he's gonna come back?
I think they'll be careful with him a little bit and ease him back in. I think as long as he can get past that shoulder strain, I think
Yeah.
he'll be back because he was pitching unbelievable in spring training.
Wasn't it an elbow problem last year? Was it an elbow problem last year? Right.
It's a
Last year
shoulder.
was the elbow.
It was a shoulder strain this time, so they're just being careful. I don't. Max Scherzer last night, Magnificent. He pitched Magnificent. He was unreal. He had his electric stuff from when he won the Cy Young. He had a no going into the 6th, I think. Flushing was fired up. It's just adds. I think our starting pitchers as a whole have like a 1.2 ERA. We get timely hitting. I love our lineup. The Mets are rocking, baby. And who's tonight? We got Rodon against Bassett. It's gonna be another good pitching matchup. Let's see if they can keep it rolling. I want to see the Brooms tomorrow.
All right, here we go. I was just about to say, yeah. So the Phillies just put up a 3 spot. They took the lead. They're now beating Colorado. They just put up a 3 spot.
They're due for a win.
Bomb just hit a ding dong. Funny thing about Bomb, I mean, it's hard to listen. The guy says he doesn't want to play there. I mean, what's going on? So I'd like to know what's going on in the clubhouse because when you have your third baseman, and when you have your manager have to talk about your starting third baseman, telling people he doesn't want to be there anymore. In the second week in the season, there's something going on there.
Yeah, but you saw the Phillies fans give him a standing ovation the next time he came back to like, yo, we got your back kind of thing. So I don't know. Yeah, that was kind of cool because usually they go the other way. They turn on you.
Hey, have you seen the video of the Phillies? So when the Mets went to Philadelphia, you may have been at this game. When the Mets went to Philadelphia, I don't know. It was when the Mets went to Philadelphia. The Mets did something. A Mets fan did something with his phone, like flashed it at.
That wasn't that was a night game. I saw that, and he threw it on the field.
And he threw it on the field.
Oh man, that would have been fight. That would have been a fight if that guy was soft because he just looked around and like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, the guy threw his phone on the field. How do you not
How do you not react? Fuck being hostile, man. How do you not react? He just sat there like this, like literally like this, looking around like someone was going to help him.
You do. I don't.
You're nowhere near help, buddy. You're in Philly.
Yeah.
You're nowhere near help.
Yeah, he was like, "What do we do?" So I just thought it was. So you did see it.
Yeah, I saw it.
Is that
Philly
normal?
garbage? Yeah, it's bad. When I was there, that's the thing that was so funny is that when we were up 10-3 or something, whatever we were up big.
Yeah.
all of the Met fans got up at one. Kind of some guy started it, and then everyone started raise. Let's go Mets! Throughout the whole, and they were just booing, throwing popcorn, and we took over the stadium for a good 10 minutes. It was awesome, awesome atmosphere.
So that's one of the stadiums I've never been in. It's, one of the
Beautiful
last
park.
stadiums I've never been in that
I mean,
stadium.
it's trash because it's Philly, but it was a nice ballpark.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So what else is what do you got for tonight? What are you looking at for tonight in baseball?
I got 2 games I circled. I like Baltimore tonight. I think Oakland's very banged up right now. They're an average team at best. I think
Yeah.
Baltimore's lineup tonight has a couple good. They got a couple guys back in there that I think that they should be able to win,
Yeah.
and they're plus 100 on the road. I like the price, and I
Yeah.
like the Blue Jays to bounce back and beat the Red Sox tonight. Barrios on the mound. I don't believe in Pivetta, and I just don't think that Red Sox staff could hold down the Blue Jays offense tonight because they held them down to 1 run yesterday. So I got the Jays bouncing back.
All right. So I'm going a different direction. I'm going in a direction that I know you're not going to like. As you know, I only take home teams, so that eliminates. I won't take anything on the road right now. The game I'm looking at, if I can hit it, it's a good win, and I'm going to take Houston at home against Otani.
Okay.
So you can get Houston at the
No
plus.
Altuve and no Bregman in the lineup tonight, just to let you know. I looked at
Yeah, I'm
those
looking
lineups.
at it. Yeah, I'm looking at it right. Bregman's in the lineup.
Not Bregman. Is Brantley in the lineup too?
Brantley's in the
They
lineup.
were
Batting
missing
second.
2 guys. I know Altuve's out. I thought I saw 2 key. Is
Yeah.
Tucker in too?
Tucker's playing right field.
So it's just Altuve there. All right.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Might be no Gurriel's
But the
playing
Angels
first.
lineup looks pathetic too, without Trout in there.
Yeah, listen, here's the thing about Otani. He's not pitching well. He's not pitching well this
And
year.
I've noticed when he pitches, his hitting isn't on point like it is when he's not pitching. So not that he can't hit, but I'm just saying like his focus on that day is pitching.
So here's a crazy thing for me. He's leading off the game, which means he has to come
He's
out
hitting
of that
before he
bullpen.
pitches.
Yeah, and he has to come out of that bullpen in his warm-ups a lot longer, practice his hitting. That
It's a weird dynamic that we're not used to seeing for sure.
Yeah, it's a very weird dynamic because he's leading off the game. It'd be different if he was batting 7th.
Right. Don't have to worry about it. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm taking Houston plus the money at home.
Okay.
That's the only one I really see that I like because I obviously I'd love to bet against Cincinnati, but they went off at minus 240.
Don't get me wrong. Rodon is not a bad price if you like dogs tonight. The Mets are due to lose one here, but I can't go against them right now.
They're on the road.
Can't go against the Mets right now. That's just
the
what
other
it
one
is.
that might be a sexy pick. What's the Arizona Washington line? What is that line?
Arizona's getting plus 110, I think.
So minus the 130. I love, and it's Eric Feed. You know what? Washington. I love that number. Washington.
Yeah. Arizona's right there behind Cincy too. That's terrible.
Yeah, I like Feed. Fetty. I don't know how to say his name. Yeah, I like Washington at home. That's a weird line. That's a weird number. Lineup unavailable. That's why. So actually, I'm going to jump on Washington. When we get off the podcast.
Yeah.
All right. So we got the NFL draft coming up next week and the NFL draft challenge, right?
Can't wait.
So here's a couple quick things.
I wonder if this Debo news is going to come into the effect on the draft day. He now requested a trade from San Francisco. Won't say why.
Why? Well, here's the thing.
Why.
All right. So if you're Miami Dolphins, do you get out of the Tyreek Hill deal and trade his ass to and trade him to San Francisco and get Tebow?
Absolutely not, because Tyreek's from Miami, so you know you're going to get a motivated guy just because he's home and you paid him. And I think the Jets got to go make a move for Debo. They have probably the best package they could offer the Niners for him.
Which is what?
Whatever it is, the draft capital the Jets have absolutely probably triumphs anyone else.
What's everybody saying in New York right now about the draft? They got two picks in like top 8, top 9. What are they saying back there about that?
Everyone's scared that they're going to mess it up. Basically, that's what I'm feeling the vibe from. I know a lot of Giants.
They have to take a quarterback. They have to take a quarterback with one of those two.
Giants?
Yeah, they have to. You're not living with Daniel Jones anymore, are you?
They are.
You've seen 3 years. You've seen it.
I know.
They still have what we thought.
They got a lot of holes. Honestly, I don't know which way they're going to go. I wish I knew which way they're going to go because I don't. I understand why you're saying you got to move on from Daniel Jones. I don't know if taking a quarterback that early is the move, but they do have to address the quarterback position. They can't think Daniel Jones is the answer still. And they got a lot of holes, so I don't know where they're going to go. And the Jets, I'm getting the vibe that they feel they're a couple picks away from turning it around.
So
So
next week we're going to handicap the worst draft pick in the history of the NFL. You're going to have yours. I'm going to have mine. And we're going to talk about it going into the draft. So next Tuesday or Wednesday we'll cover that.
okay,
The guy that we think is the worst draft pick in the history of the NFL. I don't
we
think
might
mine will
both
be
be
much
the
of.
same one.
I don't think mine's going to be much of a surprise, but
No.
um,
Uh,
so listen,
it's
I
not
think the
Ryan
biggest.
Leaf, everybody. It's not Ryan Leaf.
uh,
Uh,
next week we're looking at a couple things. So we have the NFL draft, then we have the O's. I can't say. I almost released it. We got some stuff coming out next week. There's gonna be crazy,
some
awesome,
exciting
fun.
stuff, people. Like some
Some,
exciting stuff.
and then the following week is the start of the NHL playoffs. Are you following what's going on with the Rangers? Because I know one thing. I know
Rangers are
the
tied
Bruins are winning.
with the Hurricanes now at the top of the division. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Obviously, they're not going to try and lose for seeding purposes, but they might get the harder matchup if they do win the division. But they caught Carolina with
Yep.
5 games left.
Yep.
See what happens. They're playing well. They got 3 straight shutouts. Their goalies are playing great. They're a contender for sure. There's a lot of good teams.
Who's their goalie?
Shesterkin, Igor Shesterkin, hell of a
Who is
goalie.
he? Who is
They
he?
drafted him 3 years ago. He took over for Lundqvist, and he's been sensational. Russian.
There you go. Interesting. Well, the
He's got
Bruins
that kind of feel
won-
of Quick. You know when Jonathan Quick came out of nowhere and started dominating? He's got
Yeah.
that feel.
So the Bruins won a game last night that basically was a must-win. They won it in overtime against St. Louis. I
They
think it
like
was
to
a
win in
must-win.
overtime, those Bruins, don't they?
They do, and they're winning right now without Pasternak. So I need to know what's going to happen with Pasternak, and then the guy they traded for Lindholm came over, had 2 great games, and now he's hurt. And nobody knows what's wrong with him. It's like he's got some injury that we don't know what's wrong
That's a
with it.
team the Rangers might have to see in the first round if they win the division.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
Last year or the year before that the Rangers had the fight that was happening where everybody dropped their gloves because somebody got cheap shotted?
It was against the Capitals, but we didn't have any tough enforcer. Now we got Ryan Reeves, and no one wants to mess with the Rangers no more. Everyone's like, "Oh, well, why aren't we fighting? We got Reeves." And we're not fighting because they're scared to fight now. That's the point of having them.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's some crap.
We know about Ryan Reeves from Vegas, you know.
Yeah, he used to go head to head with Kane.
Yeah,
Him and Kane would go at it. See who the tough guy was on the ice. All right, so listen, we covered our baseball. We got our NFL draft. We got to figure it out. We're going to talk a little more about that next week and get ready for the NFL draft contest and everything that we're doing.
Yeah, next week's going to be awesome.
I'm going with Feed. I'm really liking the Feedy pick right now. I really do like the Nationals at home. I missed that earlier today. Over the D-backs. D-backs on the road.
Yeah, I like
D-backs
Baltimore. I like Toronto, and I like Kevin Durant for 30. Those are my 3 picks for the day.
Kevin Durant over 30.
Yep.
Okay. And you had something the other day that hit. You actually said Freeman was going to hit his first home run.
Boy, did he. He did hit
first,
it against Atlanta. That was awesome. Plus 450. And he ended up hitting another one today. So he's loving this Atlanta coming into town. He's got 2 homers against his former team. Yeah, I've been good with the props though. You got to find spots for props.
You know the interesting thing about Freeman. So you know how Acuna said he had his problems with everybody. Nobody listened to Freeman. Well, I saw half of the team giving Freeman a hug, walking up and saying hi to Freeman before the game. You didn't see anybody.
He's a great human being. He's a great human being. That's why.
Yeah. And he didn't even respond. He took the high road on the response from Acuna. So I just found that very interesting. That was one thing I wanted to see. Yeah. And I actually love them being mic'd up on the base out there.
Oh, it's great.
What they did with Votto. And speaking of Votto, I want to talk about him in a second. But what they did with Votto and Albies, I love listening to those guys chat.
Yeah.
So Votto, future Hall of Famer, Cincinnati Reds. We could be looking at a historically bad team. Less.
I think it's a lock. He gets traded at the deadline. Lock.
So that's my question. If he doesn't get traded, does he retire? Does he finish this? Does he go through 100 loss season?
It's funny. I can't answer that because I don't see a situation where he doesn't get traded. The team's going to be literally 100+ loss team, and he's that kind of veteran that could help a contender. To do him the justice, they're going to do him the justice and give him a trade. I think
give him the Ray Bork treatment. Give him the Ray Bork treatment.
Yeah.
Trade him to a contender so he can go win a ring.
Absolutely.
Listen, he's earned it. He's earned it. At one time, he was a top 5 hitter in baseball. He's a future Hall of Famer. He's the only one that they really kept.
I know.
Do you look at they literally sent everybody else away.
Everybody. The team is garbage, top to bottom. Even their prospects that they drafted, they starting to show their true colors. They're not that good. Cincinnati's in trouble for the next 5 years. I see.
And you have your CEO or president coming out and telling the fans, "Watch out what you wish for." He's basically daring them to keep talking because they might move the team.
It's a
He's
shame too
basically
because
insinuated that
Cincinnati Reds is a big time franchise, and their fans love
Big
the
Red
Reds.
Machine,
So
the Big
right,
Red Machine,
right,
70s and 80s, they were the team. Remember, they made the World Series in like 89 and 90. They had
yeah,
Chris Sable at third base. They had the shortstop that was really good shortstop,
agreed.
Shaw,
Yeah,
Barry, whatever his name was, Larkin, right? Barry Larkin.
Barry Larkin.
So,
Yeah,
so they had a team, man, and they had obviously the team that they had in the 70s. Uh, and to see them now, it's hard to fathom that they're gonna lose 110 games this year.
they are.
They're
And
gonna
that
lose
they might lose
110.
more. They might lose more than that. I don't. They don't have pitching and they don't have hitting. It's kind
They
of
have no
weird to
hitting,
not have both. So, I
isn't
mean,
it?
Hunter Green's
You got
good,
to
but I
spend. You would
mean,
think they would spend the money in one spot or the other, and that's where you would struggle on the opposite side.
yeah. Usually,
They
you
don't
can
have
point out a
either.
team's weakness. It's everything that team.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. They don't have anything. So between, do you would you say that they're the worst team in baseball right
I
now?
do. I think that's fair to say. Yeah. They haven't. They
Yeah.
haven't. They haven't even threatened to win a game. I think they might have won a game already, but they haven't even threatened. I feel to show that they're a good team. So
I
I
mean,
think you're right. I think you got to fade Cincinnati almost every
so,
night.
so you have Cincinnati and you have the Diamondbacks. Boy, the Diamondbacks
Hideous,
are awful. The
hideous.
Diamondbacks are awful. They can't score.
Yeah,
Holy moly, they can't score. Um, yeah, I think we're looking at some really bad baseball teams. Uh, and the funny thing is, I'll keep going back to it. The American League Central, top to bottom, to me is the worst league in baseball. Even if even if you have Cincinnati in the NL Central or you have the Diamondbacks in the West, I still say top to bottom, it has to be the AL Central.
I hear you.
Uh, and
And
I'm
that
gonna
just to
go.
put into perspective, if those teams all were in the same division as the Diamondbacks and the Reds,
Yeah,
they would still lose 100 games.
yeah,
That's how bad
yeah.
the Reds and the Diamondbacks are right now.
Right? You're
Yeah.
you're right, man. You're right. No, I agree with you. All right, man. Listen, let's call it a wrap. Let's get out and watch some games.
Yeah.
Enjoy the games tonight, and then we're going to be back tomorrow firing, and then we'll have an announcement tomorrow about where we're getting hosted for
Yes, sir.
our NFL draft contest, which is kind of cool. We'll definitely be down in Tampa at a very cool spot, and
A
we'll
lot of
release
fun
that
stuff
tomorrow.
coming up. Enjoy your
Yeah,
night. Enjoy the
yeah.
games, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.